Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're joined by Gary from World Class Coins. We're going to be going over some Rattler commemoratives, some really interesting coins that we're going to be showing off, thinking through how he bought them, sort of the significance of the Rattlers, maybe why there's some green and gold CAC stickers on the coins, how he thinks about that, and really just get some interesting numismatic perspective. So thanks Gary for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Christian. So this is a commemoratives. There's 144 of them in the different designs and the mint marks, which all of them were produced, but the different types of commems, there were only 50 of them. And so I'm personally trying to assemble a 50-piece typeset of commemorative half dollars, strictly in PCGS Rattler holders. And if you, they're called Rattlers because if you shake the holder, the coin kind of rattles inside. And this is the first type of holder that PCGS produced. They started slabbing coins in 1986.
So I think, I've heard a lot about people being interested in Rattler coins and sort of a cool collecting goal. Do you think that there's other people who are trying to complete a similar set of these? And then after that, I'll ask some specific questions about the coins we're looking at.
I know that there's other people that have attempted, maybe even successfully, completed a 50-piece typeset of commemorative half dollars and Rattlers. There are Rattler collectors, and there are collectors who strive for nice coins in old holders. I think people see the potential for value and investment in old holders. I don't know if they'll go up in value. I think they're popular and I think they're sought after. I see the appeal. I personally like them because I like, well, for the Texas, for example, which Christian was just holding up, this coin was slabbed probably in 1987, and you can see what an undipped original white coin would look like. No toning, just a white coin that's been in a holder for almost 40 years. So I personally find that very appealing to someone like me who gets to see lots of cool coins.
Definitely. No, I think that these are definitely special finds, and the pedigree is really interesting. Can you talk through how you purchased this?
This one was at a coin show in Long Beach, California. I was just walking by and I saw this. And it stood out to me because it's graded MS67. And over the last 35 or 36 years, a lot of these Rattler holders were cracked out. Grading was more conservative back then, so I think people likely cracked coins out of Rattlers and old green holders and submitted them for upgrade for a higher grade than what's on the holder. So it's really hard to find Rattlers which are in higher grade. I've only seen a couple MS68 Rattlers and very few MS67, so that stood out to me automatically.
Definitely. And do you think that any of these, maybe we can talk through, it's 67 CAC, do you think that it would be a shot 8 in today's environment?
It's very clean. I think it certainly has a shot.
And I would assume, given that you're collecting all of these, that you're not really planning on ever sending them in to be put in a new holder.
Yeah, I see the value in the old holders, so I'm not going to be cracking them out or anything like that.
So this one is a Boone half dollar. They're often interesting because the back often has different dates. You can see 1934 and 36 here, multiple year issue. But anything in particular about this coin to mention?
It's just a high grade. It's appealing. It has nice luster. What's kind of cool is that one of my clients, who is a collector of Roosevelt dimes, his great-great-great-grandpa was Daniel Boone himself, which was really cool. He was like the surveyor, and he explored Kentucky first.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's some legends or some like stories that I used to read, child stories about Daniel Boone. So cool to have that. And then the next coin after that, a really fascinating one. It's a Mint State 65 Washington Carver, one of the last commemorative designs for the classic commems, but just unbelievable toning.
Yeah, I like this one. It stands out to me so much because it has unbelievable color. I wouldn't go as far to say that this is a type of commemorative which doesn't tone as often as others, but it's a very appealing and attractive tone for the coin for sure.
Definitely. And how do you think, Mint State 65 Wash Carve, probably not going to be a super expensive one. What did you pay for this, and what do you think its fair market value would be?
I paid around $500. In MS65, the coin is worth about $100, and the majority of the value comes from the color and the appeal. I'm not so sure that any of the value comes from the actual holder itself. I'm not convinced yet that there is a premium for the old Rattler holders, but I'm not going to say that there won't be in the future.
Okay. After that, I'm seeing a CAC sticker. The Columbia, I did a video on this one, some interesting history in terms of how they moved the state capital, but it seems like just a blast white coin, and not sure if you have additional comments.
No, I like the design very much, though. There's a lot of surface space between the design and the lettering on the outer rims.
Oh, that's a good point.
And then also, it's a high grade to find in a Rattler.
Yeah, no, that's what I like so much about the classic commemoratives. I've heard some people think that they're under collected, or that I know that they were extremely strong in like the 80s and 90s, and maybe fell down. Now, this is an example of the gold CAC sticker, meaning that's would CAC in the grade above, I believe.
Yeah, so a gold sticker, so let's use this as an example. It's a gold sticker as a 64, which means if the coin were resubmitted today and it upgraded to MS65, it would receive a green sticker at CAC as a 65.
And do you think that, there's ever gold stickers where it's 2, could this come back in a 6?
In my experience, gold stickers are usually undergraded by at least 1.5 points, a lot of times 2 points. In this rare instance, this coin was extremely undergraded. I grade the coin 67, which is a 3-point undergrade, and that's very rare. But if someone undergrades a coin and it somehow gets by, then that's just the result.
Certainly, and maybe a good reminder for people to focus on not just looking at the holder, but grading the coins themselves, and try to, can find those opportunities when they come up. Here's sort of neat toning in the sense that it's really not uniform, and sort of fun to have an animal. Looks like a beaver on the Albany.
Yeah, it's a dirty looking coin, and it looks like it has some PVC on the upper beaver right here. You can see kind of like this film of a lighter tone, whereas down here you see a clear film without any haze, and then at the top, if you tilt to the top of the beaver, you see almost like a halogen kind of blue kind of color, and that's PVC, unfortunately.
Okay, and does that matter at the grading companies, or how do they think about PVC? Is it acceptable?
PVC is looked down on. However, PVC can produce attractive colors, so there are many instances where PVC toned coins are attractive and appealing, and for that reason receive a bump in the grade because they're pretty.
Makes sense. Well, more good stories there. Let's see our next one. Going to be a Booker T. Washington, first year 1946 S, Mid-State 66. I always think it's fascinating. I was looking into the history of commemoratives, and a lot of people, they would want to make more money off of the collectors, so they would do multiple years and do PDS so that they could sell. But this one really stands out as being pretty as well. Is this, is this type of color uncommon for?
This type of color is very common. It's basic gold color. This coin has a interesting story. On the back, you can see a sticker from the dealer which it came from. At the top, it came from a dealer out of California named David Hunt, and the collector who I bought this from bought it from David Hunt in 1994 for $125, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with David Hunt. Could you tell me a little bit about him?
I honestly don't know anything about him, but he's a dealer out of California. I guess he's been around for ages.
Yeah, no, it's fun to have those little, even the Rattler itself is like a little bit of coin collecting history beyond the coins themselves. Here's a Rhode Island, not too far away from my home in Connecticut. This one looks gorgeous. I don't know, maybe I would grade this higher than a 64.
I'm not so sure. It's not a coin that really stands out to me. I have not yet seen a high-grade Rattler Rhode Island, so I just bought it as a placeholder. It was pretty cheap. It was like a couple $100.
Okay,
but
very cool.
It's attractive.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of many designs, like you were saying, 50 different ones. And we've got Wisconsin here, Mid-State 66, sort of got the hammer. Is there anything special about this one?
The beaver's cool on the back, and it's a high grade in a Rattler, which is the appealing factor to me. I think the coin's very nice. I think it would definitely sticker at CAC.
Do any of the, does the Rattler ever offer bad protection for the coins, given that the coins do rattle around a little bit?
I'm not sure if you can damage them by rattling, but the holders are somewhat fragile, whereas if you drop them, there's a good chance that you get a scratch on the holder or potentially crack it.
Okay. Looks like we have 2 more coins here, and then we're going to follow up in a different video with the rest of them. Here's sort of the first commemorative, first year, 1892 Columbian Exposition, 400 years, of course, after 1492. And do these come this nice often?
Colombians are often very flashy, and they have a proof-like appearance to them where the surfaces reflect very heavily compared to the devices and the design of the coin. And like Christian was saying, the Colombian was the first commemorative of the 144 coin series, which is a very interesting thing.
Yeah. What was the pricing on this coin?
I bought this one for, I think, $550, which is about what a 65 is worth. I paid a little too much, but I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, no, it's really nice eye appeal, and that's probably important for collections. And then we've got our last one, the Stone Mountain, also one of the, I think it's the second most minted, was actually often used to fund some of the sort of, not Confederate, but some of the sort of Southern pride in the 1920s. I think they raised money through the sale. There's some with really interesting markings. You know, if they were sold by somebody, then they would stamp them with a state or something. But what's the story behind this coin?
This coin was brought up to me by a friend of mine at a coin show, and he sold it to me because he knew I was putting together a set. I sent this coin into CAC, and unfortunately it didn't sticker because the coin has PVC, whereas if you tilt it directly towards the camera, you'll see PVC right under the horse's mouth. You can see that little area. Then on the back.
Try zooming in a little bit. Looks like it's right there.
Yeah, and then on the back, flip it over. You can see PVC pretty much all over the back. It looks like a discolored haze almost. It makes the coin ugly, kind of, at least on the back.
Well, it's it's good to have lots of different coins out there, and really helpful to think about what's stickering, what's not. We've seen some examples of both. So thanks so much for talking through these. I am excited. We're going to go through some of the other fascinating ones in the next few weeks. They'll probably release. We'll probably film it directly after this, but thanks for sharing with so many people who are going to learn a lot from this video.
Thank you for having me, Christian.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Treasure Town, and get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out my website, treasuretowncoins.com, for news and updates related to the channel and collectibles in general. Lastly, there's a link tree in the description with links to all of my other sites, as well as some affiliate links that can support the channel. But with that being said, have a great day, and I'll hope to see you on some of my videos in the future.